Okay, so hello, Katherine, firstly. But this is the third time that I've made this video, like talking about these things, because one time I made it on Broadway Dinosaur and it just like didn't upload because I accidentally put the other one on that channel. You saw that, and yeah. Um, then secondly, I made it on this channel, and then I thought it was the one from Broadway Dinosaur that I thought I'd solved the mystery of why it didn't upload because I hadn't pushed like the save changes yet. But it turns out it was from this channel, and so I closed it. So that's gone. So now I'm just talking about the same thing, like, for hours and hours on end. And I'm like, really? So here we go. I'll try to make this one fast. So the last one was like 15 minutes accidentally. The first one was like 9 though, so I was like, how does that happen? Maybe it was 13. Doesn't matter. Okay, so firstly, you shushed your radio. Judging you, talking to inanimate objects. It's fine, I do that too. I like apologize to shares and stuff, so it's fine. And then you said you mentioned how I talk a lot. Really? But it's a good thing that you like it, because if you didn't like it, we wouldn't be able to be friends. So, yeah. And then you mentioned that the old men and women, if I just say old men, then it's kind of weird. But you mentioned that the old men and women, sorry, I just need to go default to men, said that you were like the cutest thing ever in choir and you loved it. Choir, symphonette. But firstly, they think you're the cutest thing ever. And then you're like always like, I'm making this. Everyone calls me cute every second. Just judging you a little bit. It's fine. It's fine. It is fine though, because I can judge you because we're friends, and so you know if I judge you. I judge everyone though, so you know, pretty equally. So it's fine. And then you said the old man with a Slurpee was like creepy. I feel like, at least the way you described him, he didn't sound creepy. Like, are you one of those people that like hates old men? Because I have friends like that. I feel like you're not, but you might be. I don't. No, I feel like you've told me that you think old people are cute on several occasions. But yeah, I have friends that are like, old people, they just gross me out, and I'm like, that's gonna be you one day. Have fun with that. And then, but yeah, they say weird things like, oh, you make me look like a wimp, but you just have to like smile and be polite, because that's what old people like. Like, if you are a polite person, old people will love you. That is what I have learned in life in my 16 years on the planet. 16 and 1/6, almost 1/6, 1/12, more like 3/24. Yeah. But math. And then you said your choir quizzes, like only half of the people passed. What? Or they got an A. But like when we had choir quizzes in like 6th to 9th grade, and I always got 100% on them, because 6th to 8th grade, not 9th, in middle school. Mr. Shear, I love him. Have I told you about him? I will tell you about him sometime, because everyone loves Mr. Shear. He was a wonderful choir director. Yeah, I got like 100% on all of them because they were like really easy. I don't know how hard yours were, because it was on like the exact same stuff that he taught us, so it was like, we knew it was gonna be on the test. And it was like 20 to 30 questions, so what was on yours that could be so hard that like not everyone got an A? And then you were talking about parts for your band. I don't do band, so I don't know what you're talking about. I choir and I do theater. I don't do band. I don't know what first and second part are. I think of like higher and lower singing. Like alto 1, alto 2, alto 1. But I feel like it's like the first part is like better and the second part is worse. And I'm talking about your case, not in like singing in general. So is that true? Then it would make sense that you were bumped down, that you were sad that you were bumped down to second part. Is that it? I don't know. I need food. I need to go get some cereal because I usually would be eating lunch in less than 2 hours. I eat lunch at 10:08 at school. That's early, but whatever. I've adjusted. And then you definitely said Tristan asked her to go to bed. You definitely said Tristan. And then Tristan was like, hey, can I see you in the bathroom? To Tori. Sorry, Tori. It's Tori, right? It is. It is. Yeah, you definitely said that. And then I feel like I had something else to mention about that whole incident, but I can't remember. So, pause for reflection. I don't remember what it was. But if anything happens with Tristan, you better text me immediately. Okay, girl. Okay. Text it. I'll keep my phone on. I always do during school, usually. I feel like in school though, I'm like always texting you, and I feel like all my teachers are like, oh look, there's Elena, she never stops texting. But the thing is that I'm like super anti like phone usage when like it's really only when there are like other people in that like you're having a conversation with, because then it really annoys me. Like when people are like texting you while they're at your house, it's like really. I'm very independent of my phone because I feel like you should never depend on something as much as some people depend on their phones. It's like ridiculous. So yeah, I feel like teachers are judging me, and like Mr. Epping, my science teacher, has been like, make sure you don't hit someone when you're walking in the hallway, watch where you're going, one morning. So yeah, I feel like he judged me. And like every single morning when I'm walking into AP US History, I'm texting you because I text you in the morning. You know that. I interrupt your texts. Okay, so continuing. Snow coming. I understand what it is. Like, I just don't understand why you have it. Like, why it's necessary. I'm not a big fan of school dances. You know this. Because the Rockford ones are terrible. I've been to one since 6th grade, and it was the Halloween dance in 6th grade, and it got canceled early because someone started a grind line. So, that's my experience with school dances. And, like, Mary-Kate and Ashley movies. That's it. So, I'm not a fan. Yeah, but if it's girl's choice, why wouldn't you ask Tristan? I feel like he, like, is one of those people, he, like, thinks you like him, but then he's like, maybe not, I don't wanna risk it. Like me, I would never ask anyone out because I'd be like, no, they hate me. So, yeah, I would recommend doing it, even though that might be awkward, but it's fine. Do it. It'll be like strong female character, even though you're not a character. I was just thinking about that. Like, whenever I, like, say that, like, I do something wrong, I think, like, oh, character flaw, because that's what we talked about in Romeo and Juliet, but then I'm like, I'm not a character. And, like, character flaws are, like, bigger. We're all characters in the story of life. Quote of the day. Yeah, you're welcome for that philosophy. Alright. Oh, and then you mentioned, oh, and then you were like, said that people don't ask, people out in your school creatively. Everyone does that at Rockford. Everyone. And they, like, share it with the whole entire world, because they, like, film it, and it's like, really? I don't care. No offense, but I don't care. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm, like, adjusting my computer. I'm, like, always obsessed with how my computer is. Sorry, I'm obsessive compulsive. People always say I'm OCD, but that's your obsessive compulsive disorder. That means that you're a disorder. No. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. And then I feel like a lot of people get their little, like, asking out things off the internet, because I've seen people do that thing where there's, like, they write, like, a paragraph, and they put, like, candy in for words, so that it's, like, you're my baby Ruth. And it's, like, what? That, I feel like it's just, like, awkward, and, like, they sound stupid. So, yeah, not a fan of those. I know someone who did that, and those two are they're still going out. They actually made a bet with my science teacher, Mr. Epping, that for $50. It was 15, but then they raised it to 50. No, it was 10, I think. That they'll still be together during graduation. Doubtful, but they thought that was a good idea. Oh, and then you said singing the thing was cute. The singing, I don't think that's cute. I think I'm the only person on the planet who thinks that, and like I almost feel bad, but that's my opinion. I don't like when being sung to. I prefer, like, classical music is okay, but like when it's like whoa, look at my show. This one looks weird. Maybe I'm just judging myself. It's fine. But I feel like when people are singing just specifically to you, I'm like, okay, people are watching me and they're like judging my reaction. So how do I react? And I shouldn't be like that, but I am. So yeah, and I think that those couples who are like so sweet, it's like annoying. I'm like, no. So yeah, I feel like that's more like of a, I don't like people like both Spencer and Jake last year got asked to prom by juniors, I think all juniors, via song. So yeah, like Jake got asked like to the tune of "Happy Birthday to You." It was like Jake Olsen is a freshman, something like that. And somehow they worked in Jake Olsen as freshman. They sang that like 4 million times, probably like 3, because that's how the song goes. But and then Sarah asked him out, and then Spencer got asked out by, oh, and there were chamber singers behind her, but Spencer got asked to prom, because it was like his friends, but asked prom by like Jill and Hannah, I think, maybe. But we were in the middle of New York rehearsal. The other one is in Fiddler. Jake's was in Fiddler rehearsal, but Spencer's was in New York rehearsal, and they sang it to the tune of Harry from Very Potter Musical, which I was like, oh my goodness, Very Potter Musical. I started like freaking out because I was like, I know this song, and I started singing along. But Harry, this song, why can't you see what you're doing to me? There's another Harry in between there. I realized that, but because it's like 14 minutes. So, but so what was I gonna say? I'm so forgetful. But so yeah, and like at my stepbrother's wedding, he like sang off of a phone to his wife because people wanted him to sing, and I was like, romance. This is the one that's in Songs for a New World. I'm so excited to go see that though. Like, so excited. And then my sister's like, I want to go. And I'm like, you don't even know who Jason Albarn is. You don't know what the show is. You don't. But it'll be fun. So, And then you sang lovely vowels, just lovely. I always judge myself when I'm like singing on here because it makes you sound like, oh, where's this? Oh, inappropriate for the children. I always feel like, or it like makes you sound like 3,000 times worse than you are. So, yeah. And then